Hello everyone and welcome inside the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center for the Durham Lords home opener as they take on the 1-0 George Brown Huskies. I'm your man on the call tonight, Sean McLeod, with my broadcast colleague Ryan Vieira, and your starting lineups tonight for the Durham Lords are Shane Taylor Douglas, Angelo Sarsonis, Simon Kashala, and Adam Hussaini. On the George Brown side of things, we're going to see Robert Ocampo, Chris Fields, Derek Taylor, Nassim Berry, and B2 Komesu as we're tipping off here. Ryan, how are you feeling about tonight's game?
Well, You good? Yeah. Okay. Well, Sean, George Brown is a really big team. They have a lot of big forwards, so the Lords basically just have to move that ball around quickly and try to get past, get any chances they can get.
And Durham up on the board early, 2-0 to start the game. And Durham will have a bit of a battle on their hands as George Brown enjoying a size advantage down in the post as B2 Komesu is a giant. He gets the ball back. With some good defense, it'll be Hussaini that comes away with it. Into the paint, Hussaini off glass, but will poke it out to Sarsonis. Sarsonis from three and off the side of the backboard. Gathering the rebound is Taylor Douglas. Hussaini for three.
Good patience, good rhythm, sticking with it.
And Hussaini, he did that for pretty much the entirety of last season. This Lords team returning a good portion of that team as well. Shot short and poked out to Hussaini as Simon with the rebound. Sarsonis backdoors it. Hussaini with a quick 5 points.
Great start for the Lords. This is what you're looking for on your home court, your home opener. This is what you want to see. 7-0 run to start this game.
Into the paint and finding some room as Nassim Berry. Hussaini with the ball on the other end. A spin move off glass. It's a 9-0 run for the Lords.
That's 7-0 ready for Hosseini. Good start for him as well.
Brown finally on the board, and they're looking to get another couple points as a shot pass. It's an interesting looking combination, but they'll pull it back out to the perimeter as Ocampo. For three and in and out, and the Huskies are just all over the offensive board as B2 Komesu. Hussaini looking to get in front of him. And here's where the battle comes in as the size advantage for the Huskies showing up as just an unlimited supply of offensive rebounds on that possession, and they'll head to the line for two.
All started off a turnover right there, right after that, those first 2 points from the Huskies. That's what the Lords can't afford to do against a solid ball-moving team like this.
And it looks like it'll be Barry that heads to the line. And Nassim Berry, a second-year player for George Brown, who has a relatively veteran team down the list. A couple 5-year players, a couple 4-year players. And DMB2 Komesu definitely standing out on the court. Standing at 6'9", it feels like he's taller than that. They'll pick up 2 points at the line. And the ball picked by Ocampo. And another couple points for George Brown. This time Fields gets in on the action.
Gotta get reorganized here if you're the Lords. Solid start. A little bit sloppy the last couple of minutes here.
Simons hands it off to Sarsonis. Sarsonis.
That's it.
The little kiss off the glass. Ocampo. Drive into the paint and nice shot. It's 3 points on the board for Nassim Berry. Simon. ISOing up Barry with a mid-range shot. Not quite there, but Kashala tips it out, and George Brown will be going the other way with it. Ocampo, and he gets fouled.
Second foul already for Taylor Douglas.
Early foul trouble, not what you want to see coming back in, or coming into the game. It will be Jeremiah Brown for George Brown.
Oh, nice block.
Taylor Douglas. And it's 13-9. Durham sticking around at the top of this. Masters dribbling on Hosseini, and ball finds its way out. Barry, mid-range jumper. No good. Sarsonas finds Taylor Douglas on the perimeter, but they'll have to pull it out and reset the offense. Simon with the screen sends Sarsonas into the paint, and Sarsonas has been a man on fire through the first two games. 17 points a game average right now. Like that may have been poked off of Chris Field's leg. And a couple substitutions coming on for George Brown, as we'll see Dre Barrow. Ball tempted to get inbounded to Sarsonas, but Barrow was there to poke it away. He'll pick up the foul for his troubles. Currently 15-9 for Durham, midway through the first quarter. Taylor Douglas looks for an outlet, gets it into the paint for Simon, who gets the shot up, and probably that's 2 points for Durham.
Good strength there by Simon, battling two of the Huskies down low.
Just a bit too fancy as Jacob Masters goes out of bounds. A bit out of control, but it looks like it was poked away from a Lord's player on the back end of it. Inbounded to Brown, who takes it in. Almost blocked by Kashala, but it's 2 points for the Huskies.
Good patience there by Brown, too. Saw the lane and took it right away. It's that basket.
Taylor Douglas. Foul called, and we'll see a substitution lining up for the Lords. One of their first substitutions of the night, as Isaiah Barton comes on, and we'll see Adam Hosseini go off. Hosseini already pulling his weight with 7 points on the night. Ball comes back out to Masters, who drives in, out to Ocampo, into the paint, tough shot, bounces around off the rim, and it'll be Barton who comes down with the rebound. Sarsonas makes an easy pass into the paint, but it's blocked by Jeremiah Brown. The Huskies on the break. Ocampo out for three, and just short. Battling for it is Taylor Douglas, and he's out on the break. Well, it looked like he was stripped, but they're saying the ball was off his knee. So 3 minutes left here in the first. 17-11. Durham's up. as Isaiah Barton gets into it with Jacob Masters. A substitution ready for the Huskies, as we'll see Chris Fields come back on and Masters comes off. And we'll see another substitution for the Lords. This time we'll see Kashala go off. Sarsonis looking for room to work and finds Barton. He'll get the ball back. And a tough shot from Sarsonis off glass. And the rebound comes out to Simon for 2 points.
That's what the Lords want to do, get those second chance opportunities right in the paint. Good job by Simon.
And a block. And that's going to be called a foul as Isaiah Barton gets up in the air to defend the shot.
Barton's shown some good defensive awareness so far since coming off the bench. 3 good plays I've seen defensively from him thus far.
Yeah, I've been impressed with him, and the old adage is make him earn it, right?
Exactly.
Put him on the line and make him shoot 2. And shooting 2 here as we'll see Campbell. Campbell was the leading scorer in the last game with 14 points. Not much to draw from that, as it's been their only game on the season, a 78-70 win over Seneca. There's a little confusion. It sounded like that may have been called a lane violation, but it's going to be Lord's ball.
Jason Dawkins obviously not happy about it.
We're going to get a Durham Lords timeout. Adam Husseini with 7 points, Angelo Sarsonis with 6 points, and Simon coming in with 4 points as well. On the other side of things, Nassim Berry with 5 points, pretty much carrying the offense for George Brown. Brian, it's early portions of the game here, but what are you thinking?
I'm liking the way that the Lords are rebounding off these mistakes. We've seen some mistakes being made, defensive coverage a little bit too, how can I put this, a little sloppy, but they made up for it. They made up with some second chance opportunities, and then the offense as well, making up for second chance opportunities, being there for support in the paint. Lots of slickness in the paint as well. As I said, big team the George Brown Huskies are, and they've done a good job of containing them so far.
Yeah, and that's something that they were known for last season as well, as a team that offensively can catch fire, the Durham Lords, and at times they can get sloppy defensively and things can get a little haywire down the stretch. But so far here today, it's been not too bad. And again, this is a lot of the same team returning from last year. Husseini, Sarsonis, and a whole host of players down the benches. We'll also see Keith Tennant and Zeke Niki at some point as well. Taylor Douglas has to work to get the ball up the court, and he does. And a tough shot in the paint, a lot of contact. And once again, Kansky Simon skies in for the rebound, makes it 6 points for him on the game. Oh, and a tough landing on the other end of the court as Chris Fields goes down, and he landed hard on his hand, and looks like he's moving it well enough. Might just be shaken up.
I'll start with a bit of missed defensive coverage there again, Sean. And Fields taking it all the way. And just an awkward little collision, but he's back on his feet trying to walk this off.
Fioti Mabanza was the Lords player in on that collision. Just a bit late, as you said, to the rotation. And we're going to see Campbell taking the shot. He makes the first. He misses the second, but Mabanza unable to keep control of it for the Lords, so it'll be George Brown possession off the missed free throw. gets the ball, and he's another one of those players for George Brown. It's a deep three. Sarsonis able to chase it down on the break, has a few options, takes it in off the Euro step, off glass.
Slick little play.
Sarsonis with 8 points on the night, continuing his scoring streak. The ball goes out to Fields. It's too strong. Sarsonis once again manning the break, going the other way. A little no-look pass to Simons. 8 points. The ball goes out to Fields, and Campbell with it now. Into the paint, off glass, and Jeremiah Brown picks up his 4th point of the night. Taylor Douglas. He gets the press from Fields, but brings it over half. Has to guard against the steal, but pulls it back out. In the final minute of the game, or final minute of the first period, Labanza puts the shot up. Simons is there for it, and it'll be pulled down by Campbell. Lords up by 10. Over to the corner. Campbell will slow it down. Fields drives in, kicks it out for 3. And this time Jeremiah Brown finding some offensive life at the end of the first quarter.
That's what ball movement can do for a team right there. Huskies stayed patient and stayed with it.
And Taylor Douglas turns it over. Going the other way, George Brown, too strong. Brown's there for it. 7 seconds left. Sarsonis has to make a move in a hurry. Behind the back, out for 3. Too strong, but Durham after one, up 25-18. And we'll take a quick 2-minute break and be back here for the second quarter. We are back inside the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center as the Durham Lords are up 25-18 on George Brown in their home opener here at the start of the second quarter of action. Angelo Sarsonis and Kansky Simon leading the way with 8 points for the Lords, and Adam Husseini right behind with 7 as Taylor Douglas misses a 3. Dumps it off to Barrow, and Barrow opens the scoring here in the second quarter with 2 points. Cuts it to a 5-point lead.
Brown's one slick player. We've seen a lot of good plays from him, good penetration, good passing. He's been good for the Huskies so far.
Ball taken in and swiped at in an attempt at a shot there from Isaiah Barton. Going the other way with it, and that'll be blocked, and a hard fall there as Jeremiah Brown goes, sorry, that was Campbell that went down. And Kashala, number 15 for the Lords that were in on that. And not a fun fall for either of them, but I think Campbell got the worst of it.
Yeah, you could see a lot of frustration out of Campbell afterwards, trying to walk us off right now. Another big collision. We saw one in the first quarter, and now Campbell gets on the brunt of it in this quarter to start it.
And so we'll see Barton come off and Angelo Sarsonis coming on. And Sarsonis, the lead guard for the Lords. Just a quick breather at the end of the first. And in at the start of the second, Campbell drills the first one. And he makes the second. So it's a 3-point lead for the Lords, 25-22. Sarsonis. Gives it to Mabanza. Barbosa finds Sarsonis for three. And he drills it. Sarsonis makes his first three of the night, 1 of 3.
Leading scorer for the Lords so far tonight with 11. He's been real good for Durham tonight so far.
Stolen by Barbosa. Taylor Douglas back to Barbosa. And I believe there was a foul on the back end of that as Kashala got whacked on the shot attempt. So he'll go to the line looking for 2.
Good job by Kashala to stay with that, draw that foul. Maybe a chance to get another 2 points here.
And he's been a good quick player out there so far for the Lords. The Lords, as we've said throughout this game, just going to have to guard against defensive lapses. Offensively, they're going to be there. And we're one of the best teams offensively last season in the OCAA. Of course, it was a COVID-altered season, so a bit of a short schedule. Kashala makes the second, so it's 29-22. 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter. To the paint goes Fields, who kicks it out, and Barbosa's there. Picks up another steal. Taylor Douglas into Mabanza.
Great ball movement.
Easy 2 points for Kashala. Shot too strong on the other end of things. Taylor Douglas with his head up. Mabanza for 3. Almost makes it. Barry. Fields. Give it to Ocampo. Is that a 4-point play? He'll head to the line. And you can't be fouling 3-point shots either way. That's an easy way to let George Brown back into this game. See a couple substitutions as we see Kansky Simon come back on. Ocampo unable to make it a 4-point play. Hands it off to Simon. Bit of a size mismatch in the paint as he drove in on Barry. The ball stripped out off of Barry's hand. They're saying it's white ball. Barbosa. Barry's long reach, that wingspan.
A lot of hollering down there, maybe trying to get this set up.
I'm not sure that was an intended pass to get in. I think that was just to avoid the 5-second violation there. And Barry just swats it out of bounds and tells him to get it out of here. Pass in from Sarsones.
Nice.
And a beautiful finish from Kansky Simon for 10 points.
Simon is not afraid to be in that blue paint. He's a real strong kid, real strong customer.
Ocampo for 3 from deep. And Ocampo's starting to line him up from out there.
2 for 2 for Ocampo now for threes. You got to start watching him if you're the Lords. Keep him from shooting.
Barbosa turns it over. You see Campbell. Gives it to Fields, who fakes it behind his back, and see who the referees give that to on the other end of it. It looks like it's going to be George Brown. We'll see Derek Taylor come on for George Brown. (33-28) Durham. 6 minutes and 47 seconds through the second quarter. Ocampo, a couple head fakes, and Taylor in and off of the foot of Kansky. Barbosa gets swatted by Taylor on the other end. And that will be a charge. Yep. Just a bit too out of control as Jacob Masters heads into the paint. Sarsones slides in and picks up the offensive charge.
That's a big play, taking that charge if you're Sarsones. Get the ball back on your side.
You see Sarsones. He's feeling that one. Charges are never fun.
Nope, never.
The physical part of the game for sure.
Sarsones not a big guy either, only 5'8". Against a guy coming at you over 6 foot, so never that easy.
Taylor Douglas. We'll get the ball called back. See Slady cleaning the ball behind there, getting any perspiration off. Taylor Douglas will inbound it for the Lords as they get another crack at it. Barton into the paint and a tough shot, gets the rebound, puts it up again.
Great charge by Barton.
Points, and he's looking for the harm as well as he goes to the line for a three-point play. 35-28. Durham has really been impressive throughout this second quarter. So Nassim Berry coming back on for George Brown, and it'll be Taylor coming off. Barton completes the three-point play. Ocampo
he got hit in the face.
Yeah, gets hit in the face, and it looked like it may have been around the eye area. Hopefully he's all right. Sarsones picks up an open three, and too strong. Barton with the rebound, and Ocampo is down, and he's walking it off.
Not sure if he got hit in the eye or somewhere close to it. Be very dangerous if he did, though.
So Ocampo's going to go to the table, but George Brown is down a man. Apparently, they're going to have to make a substitution. And we'll see Jacob Masters come on. And just using my peripherals, it looks like Ocampo will be okay. Another tough shot there from Kansky Simons.
Simon again.
And we're calling for a travel, but Taylor Douglas will pick up the steal. And a tough shot, but a foul on the other end. But as Chris Fields is a bit too handsy on defense. So O'Shane Taylor Douglas will be at the line looking for potentially 2 points. And Robert Ocampo still receiving treatment, and he would be a big loss for this George Brown team if he is unable to return to the game.
6 points in the game so far, as I mentioned, both from three-point land. So maybe a good thing for the Lords, get him out of the game for a little bit, get him off the court, get a chance to rebound here, still up by 10.
Certainly heating up, and Taylor Douglas misses the first. He makes the second. They're giving him an eye test over there, making him follow things around. So let's see, keep an eye on that. And a good shot there in the paint. As we've seen Nassim Berry check back into the game. Taylor Douglas passes it to Simon. He'll get the ball back. Looking for an isolation and gets it. The size mismatch into the paint and picks up another foul. George Brown is just a bit off right now. This time Derek Taylor picks it up. We are back here after a quick bout of technical difficulty, and currently the Durham Lords are up 40-30 with a big performance from Kansky Simons, Angelo Sarsonis, and Adam Husseini. A bit quiet here in the second. What are we thinking so far, Ryan?
Simon and Sarsonis have looked really good tonight for the Lords. They've been involved all game long in the paint, slick with the ball, especially Sarsonis. He's made a couple of good passes tonight. Got to keep that up in order to lead the Lords so far in this game, up by 10.
Not quite a must-win this early in the season, but Lords splitting their first 2 games, it would be a big one to pick up here at home. And we'll talk about what the schedule looks like a bit later in the game, but advantageous for them throughout November potentially. As we see Sarsonis come back on along with Simons. I believe that's Taylor Douglas and Barton. See Kashala come back on as well. For George Brown, we'll see Barry shooting at the line. Taylor Douglas brings it over the half-court line, hands it off to Simon, gets it back. Not afraid of attacking this height mismatch. Sarsonis gets a basically wide open 3 and drills it, gets slapped on the way down as well. Could have been a foul.
14 points regardless for Sarsonis. Offensive foul here.
It certainly looked like it as Sarsonis hits the ground again. Not afraid of the contact. This time I think it was Jacob Masters who was responsible. And we're going to see Ocampo come back in, so...
Good to see he's looking all right.
Yeah. Not out for too long, got a sip of water, got examined. And Ocampo was heating up from three. We'll see if it cools him off at all to come back in off of that.
Well, for George Brown's sake, they better hope he hasn't from three-point land. Down by 11.
Into the paint is Simons, and looked like that ball was a bit over the head of Sarsonis, but he's able to pull it down. Into the paint, Sarsonis. Durham keeps the ball, arguably should have had a foul. Taylor Douglas out to Barton, and just had to put that one up as the shot clock was winding down. Taylor Douglas skies in for the three, pushes it over the half-court line on the break. A bit of a circus shot, doesn't quite get there for it, and he hits the ground. Ball will stay with the Lords.
Good read at the other end by Douglas, intercepting that pass. Almost came defense to offense the other way and laid that one in, but still the Lords will get the ball because of that.
And Taylor Douglas will be the one inbounding for the Lords as we get the perspiration removed from the floor. A bit of confusion about what's happening here. It looks like some more perspiration to be cleaned up. You see either team going there and scuffing out the spot. That was the spot where we just had a bit of a collision as Taylor Douglas hit the floor along with a few George Brown players.
Going to see another substitute change for George Brown as well.
Jacob Masters heads off.
And Chris Fields back in.
Taylor Douglas into Simons and a block from Ocampo, but it's a foul.
One thing I noticed about Simon tonight, he's not afraid to take a charge. He'll take a beating, just get it, do anything he can to get those points.
Too strong, misses the first. Simons, he's been pretty good tonight, 11 points, 4 rebounds, and a lot of energy in the process. It'll be Barry with the rebound. Hands it off to Fields. Back out to Barry. Shakes Simons in, and the tough shot muscles it in. Barry, 11 points. Sarsonis battling to get the ball over half. Simons finds Barton. Sarsonis in and gets blocked by Barry. Sarsonis will be out of bounds when he touched it, though, so that would be George Brown ball. 43-34, just under 3 minutes left here before the first half. A lot of issues with perspiration near the Lord's bench here tonight.
Yeah, that same area once again having to be cleaned up a little bit. That's what the delay is.
gets rolled out to Ocampo, who's come back in the game after what looked to be a potential hit to the eye earlier. Barry in the post, battling with Simon once again, and Simon tipped that out of bounds.
I think Desmond Rowley wanted a timeout there. He was calling for one on the sidelines, couldn't get it.
Ball into Barry. And that battle with Simons in the post is a real interesting one. Ocampo lines up a three, his first since coming back in, and he misses it. So it'll be a Lord's ball. And Ocampo now shooting 2 of 5 from deep. Taylor Douglas finds Simon in the corner. Not quite. Kashala will get the rebound. And a three from Sarsonas, who's on fire tonight. Look at 3 of 6 shooting from downtown for 17 points.
Keep giving him the ball.
Taylor Douglas. And here he is with the ball again. Sarsonas, and just a bit off. Kashala skies in, gets the rebound, and 48-34 as we tick under 2 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Ball stolen by Simon. Barton. Off glass. Durham 50. George Brown 34.
This has been a good second quarter here for the Lords. Things started off a little bit shaky, but now they've gotten their composure back, making some shots, extending that lead.
In for a bit of a scoop shot is Chris Fields.
Gonna have a couple substitutes for the Huskies here.
Jeremiah Brown will come back on, and it also looks like we're going to see Dre Barrow come on as well. We'll see Derek Taylor head off. Taylor Douglas will shoot 2. That's his 5th point of the night. Hasn't had as flashy of a game as the top scorers here for Durham. Sarsonas with 17, Simon with 12, and Hosseini with 7. But Douglas has been solid throughout the night.
But you know what, though? That's the thing, though. He's making an impact. That's what counts the most for the Lords tonight.
Campbell for 3. A bit too strong. Simon there for the rebound. Taylor Douglas with less than a minute to operate here in the half, and a beautiful pass into Simons, a textbook pick and roll.
More good ball movement by the Lords. Getting around this defense.
The shot left short, but it looked like there may have been some contact on the wrist, as we'll see Jeremiah Brown head to the line.
Brown's second tonight for the Huskies in scoring with 7 points so far. Azim Berry with 11.
Taking 2 shots for Huskies, jersey number 15, Jeremiah Brown.
And he makes the first. Second as well. So timeout coming here from George Brown, and George Brown has officially boarded the struggle bus as it is 54-38 for Durham, and Ryan, if you're George Brown right now, what are you talking about in this timeout?
Well, things have certainly gone south in a hurry for the George Brown Huskies in this second quarter. Lord's taking advantage of a lot of mistakes they've made, defending them well, and not a lot of good things have happened. They've been hit with a couple of injuries in the first and second quarters. So if you're George Brown, you just gotta take your time with this.
Yeah, and one of those injuries, Robert Ocampo, he's come back in, but prior to the injury had made 2 3-point shots in a row and really was spurring a bit of a comeback. And ever since he's went out, it's felt like the offenses have sputtered a bit for the Huskies, and Durham has taken advantage of that with a relentless attack on the fast break.
And part of that has to do also with some frustration. We saw Campbell go down as well. He's been frustrated for a couple of times I've noticed. So frustration definitely a big factor in the Huskies slowing down a little bit on offense, but just keep your composure, keep things simple, make some good defensive plays, get on a little run, and eventually you'll get back in this game.
And the stat of the half has to be points off of turnovers. George Brown with 4, Durham with 17. So a lot of work to do on that front for George Brown if they want to cut back into this game. 35 seconds left here in the first half. Once again, Durham up 35, 30, or 54, 38. Taylor Douglas. He's content to take a lot of time off the clock. Can leave George Brown with about 10 seconds. Trap comes in. Ball will go to Sarsonis, who's out near the logo for a deep shot, and he makes it.
Wow.
Ocampo looking for a response and picks up a foul, so he'll head to the line for 3. And that was quite a sequence there for Sarsonis, who is able to dribble into a 3-point shot almost out near the logo, comes back on the other end and fouls Ocampo, who misses the first 3-point of the trip. He makes the second, and if he makes the third, Durham will have just under 4 seconds to make a run at getting some points, and he makes it. So things have to develop in a hurry if Durham wants to get a shot off. Taylor Douglas gets the shot off, and it's just short. Durham up 57-40, and it has been a big-time performance. Angelo Sarsonis with 20 points, shooting 50% from three-point land, 4 of 8. Kansky Simon with 14 points, Adam Hosseini with 7, and on the other side of things, Nassim Berry with 11 points, Jeremiah Brown with 9, and Ocampo with 8. Ryan, going into half here, Durham's got to be feeling good. What do you have to guard against in the second half?
32 points in that second quarter for the Lords, but you have to expect that Jason Dawkins, the Huskies head coach, will have to give his boys a lot of motivation in this halftime. Got to expect a big fire in the bellies of the George Brown Huskies coming into this second half. So you got to be ready for it. You got to be ready. Just do what you've been doing all game long. Just keep everything simple. Keep the offense of the Huskies to the outside and get your points and stay determined. You know, they've had a lot of guys, the Lords have, that have been determined all game long. A lot of great confidence from Taylor Douglas on defense. Barton has been good on defense. Sarsonis, of course, leading the way with 20 points. So, and it's all been a team game that they've all been around and supporting each other very well in this game. So just keep on doing that, and you've got this one.
All right, we'll see if the Lords can guard against the letdown. We'll be back here in about 14 minutes.
started out coaching so my son could play, and as he moved up the ladder, I just kept on coaching, and he graduated, went to college, and just kept on going. More and more players, and the level is going up and up in the league.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back inside the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center at the Durham Lords Gym as the Lords are up 57-40, heading into the third quarter here in the home opener, led by Angelo Sarsonis with 20 points. Ryan, how good's he been tonight?
He's been unbelievable. He's a really slick player from what I've seen. Not afraid to go in the paint, not afraid to take three-point shots. Really confident player right now tonight for the Lords. He's been a big part of their success so far.
And it's a big jump from last year. Sarsonis was more of the playmaker on the team, and this year he is relied on as one of the leading scorers. And that three-point shot has been deadly here tonight as the ball gets inbounded into Campbell. Campo pulls it down, kicks it out. Fields for three.
That's the start year one. If you're the Huskies, make any shot you can get those points back, no matter what it takes.
And Angelo Sarsonis was favoring his knee on the back end of that. It looked like he may have bumped knees with another player, but seems to have walked it off. Hosseini drives in and a little finger roll at the rim.
First 3 points for Hosseini since the first quarter. That's a good start for him if he wants to get the Lords back on track here after that quick three-pointer.
An attempt at a three-point from Campo. Hosseini will get the ball up in the front court, and what a block! And a tough landing on the back end as Fields is trying to run it off, but clearly in pain.
But you know what? What a play, though. That's talk about sacrificing the body and for just a great play on the defensive end. Comes back and robs Hosseini on the backboard.
And already up on to Sarsonis for the press. And Sarsonis pulls him over. Three-point shot. And it's pure. 23 points for Sarsonis.
He's just having one of those nights so far, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, on track for a monster night. Campbell gets stripped by Sarsonis, and he's feeling it at the moment. Dribbles it off his foot. Finds room for another three-pointer. A bit too strong this time. We'll see Fields pull it up the court. Out to Campbell. Dials it up. No good. See Vito Kamesu back in, and it feels like it's been a while since we've seen that. Couple 2 points there for Taylor Douglas. Campo to Fields. He probes, pulls up for two, in and out, and back in. Sweet little Jimmy from Fields. It back to Sarsonis, and Fields is all over him. Shot clock down. Fields has to take it, or Sarsonis has to take it. Rebound will come to Hosseini, and it is off the rim. Barry. Out to Campbell. Pulls it for three. In and out. No good. Ball will come back out to Barry. And once again, it's no good. Taylor Douglas will bring it up the court. Hosseini positioning for three, cuts in, gives the ball away. Campo got whacked on it.
Some miscommunication right there between Taylor Douglas and Hosseini. Try to go back and forth and missed on the pass. At least to the Huskies getting the ball back, it looks like.
Looks like we will see Jeremiah Brown come back on for George Brown as Barry comes out. Chris Fields cuts in and another mid-range jumper, too strong, but it'll be Bitu Komesu with the rebound. And Fields dribbles it out of bounds. Lord's ball. Matched up on Campbell, hasn't been afraid of the mismatch all night, takes it into Bitu Komesu and picks up the foul. So talk about not being afraid of the mismatch, takes it on to the biggest guy on the court.
Another key factor tonight for the Lords has really been O'Shane Taylor-Douglas. Real good two-way game for him tonight. Again, not afraid to get involved, get in the play, draw some fouls, and get some points.
Shane Taylor-Douglas rims out on the first, looking to put the Lords up by 20. And he does so. It's 65-45. The Lords in a commanding lead with 6 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Into the paint goes Brown, kisses it off the glass. Bitu Komesu grabs the rebound. The putback, it's just a bit too easy for him. Simon into the paint, grabs the rebound, gets stripped, gets the ball back, and Fields all hustle right now, yelling at Durham.
Tough break for Simon in the paint. Unable to come up with that ball with all those Huskies defenders around him.
Ocampo with the ball for George Brown. Gives it to Bitu Komesu and cuts into the paint. He looks for the ball on the back end of things. Doesn't quite get it. Hosseini with the steal, steps out of bounds.
That was close, but good awareness though by Hosseini again on defense.
The ball hawking free safety comes off the weak side of the play, grabs the ball, but just unable to keep his foot in bounds. Campbell inbounds it and Fields. Sarsonis lost him.
Yeah, a little too easy there.
The turnover. Ocampo. 2 points.
This is a little bit tempting for the Lords. This is what you don't want to do. All these turnovers getting your opponent back into this game. I know it's a commanding lead still, but still plenty of time left.
Well, what was a 20-point lead is now cut down to a 14-point lead, and doesn't take a math whiz to see another run like that, and it would be into the single digits. Simon gets the long inbound pass, throws it away to Field, but it looks like the Lords will keep it possession. Simon with the dribble handoff to Taylor-Douglas, uses a Hosseini screen, gets freed up. Probably could have passed that to Sarsonis. Takes the three and it rims out. Fields on the move, and George Brown has numbers. It's a 3-on-4 and loses it in the paint. And the Lords were very discombobulated defensively there, as you saw 4 players lined up on the baseline and just Angelo Sarsonis out to guard the perimeter. But luckily enough, the Huskies throw the ball away, so Lords live to play another day. Sarsonas. Drives it into the paint and a whistle called. It looks like he was bumped off the ball. Wasn't in the process of shooting, so that'll be, I believe, a side out or off the baseline. Hosseini lines it up for three.
Got the Huskies napping there, did Sarsonas and Hosseini. Quick connection for that three-point play.
Hosseini, a real flamethrower, heats up in a hurry, but a bit of a streaky shooter in the process. As you see, Jeremiah Brown responds to the three of his own.
Yeah, if the Huskies want to have any chance of getting back into this game before the third quarter comes to an end, they're going to need this man Brown to come to life here. 12 points for him now. Just took over the team lead in scoring tonight.
4 players in double digits now for George Brown. As the trap comes in on O'Shane Taylor-Douglas, but poked loose, it'll stay with the Lords. Hosseini will inbound it. Sarsonas gets the ball, has some room to take a shot in the mid-range, in and out. Simon's battling for the rebound. Coming away with it is George Brown. And Jeremiah Brown gets whacked, and it'll be a three-point play.
That looks like the Jeremiah Brown we saw back in the first quarter. A little bit quiet in that second, but now a few quick points here for him to turn the tides here a little bit. He's going to have a three-point opportunity here.
And we're going to get the timeout called by Durham Lords. Of course, good time for that.
Good time.
So Angelo Sarsonas still leads the way with 23 points for Durham. But on the other side of things, George Brown accumulating some good performances in 4 different spots. Robert Ocampo coming back to life, 10 points. Nassim Berry with 11, Chris Fields with 11, and Jeremiah Brown with 14. So what do the Durham Lords have to do here to tighten things up?
Well, just keep things simple on defense a little bit. We've seen a couple loose plays on defense in this third quarter. And the other end, George Brown outscoring the Lords so far 16-11 in this third quarter. So for the Lords, just tighten things back up a little bit. Guard your men, communicate, and go from there. Still a big lead. Just mistakes can get a team back into this game quickly. But as long as the Lords stay composed, they can just keep this game clamped down.
So what was a 20-point lead at one point is now a 12-point lead for the Lords, and they'll be looking to keep it in the double digits. And George Brown really successfully have made their way back into this game offensively and frustrated the Lords defensively within this quarter. We'll see who they come out of the timeout with. It looks like we're going to see Sarsonas, Simons, Kalasha, and Hosseini. Looks like Taylor-Douglas as well. And Brown misses the free throw. Hosseini. Trap has to get rid of the ball, finds Hosseini in the paint, bumps it, and it's Jacob Masters who comes away with the ball and throws it off the foot of Taylor-Douglas.
Tough break there for Hosseini at the other end.
So Masters pulls it back out. And Tyrell Taylor going the other way will be Taylor-Douglas. Almost blocked by Campbell, and it's 2 points to get Durham going back in the right direction. Dribbled off his foot as Dre Barrow. gets the short string for his turnover. Hosseini drives into the paint, gives it back the other way, and one of the clearest fouls of the night as he grabs Jeremiah Brown's elbow.
Just ticked him, and that'll give the Huskies the ball back here.
So we'll see Fields with the inbound as we are under 3 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Durham up 16, 70-56. Campbell inbounds it to Taylor. A three-point shot for Field and is short. Taylor Douglas once again brings it up for the Lords. Drives into the paint and finds all sorts of room. Gets another 2 points.
Taylor Douglas has looked better and better by each quarter as time's gone on in this game.
Cuts into the paint. Ball swinging around the perimeter. And this time it'll be Brown for three. Campbell with the rebound goes up. It's just too strong. Up Taylor Douglas. He gets the screen from Simon. The pass for Froehlich is out of bounds. Kashala just a bit out of his range. Into the paint, Simons, and a little bit of stone hands, but may have been poked loose in the process. Sarsonas gives it to Barton. Shot from deep is O'Shane Taylor Douglas with 16 points on the night. Masters gives it to Ocampo, and Ocampo tips it back in for two. Cuts it back into the paint. Sarsonas still gaining all sorts of respect. And a circus shot.
What a finish.
Sarsonas with 25 points on the night, and that was one of the flashiest of them. And Brown just an easy shot in the paint. And we're under a minute remaining. 77 Durham, 60 George Brown. Looks like the ball's going to come back the other way, potentially for a free throw situation. It looks like Barton will be taking them. Barton makes both. Didn't catch what the foul called was there. The shot just too strong from Taylor. And Sarsonas goes the other way with it. Behind the back and basically throws it away. Derek Taylor in transition. With the layup on the other end of the pass. Ticking away, under 20 seconds left, so the Lords have the option to take the final shot of the quarter if they don't give it away. And Sarsonas out to Kashala. Why not? Gets the rebound back, and they have 4 seconds. Gives it away to Fields. And waits too long. That's not going to count. Bucket waved off. So heading into the final frame of the night, Durham up 79-62. We'll be back after a 2-minute break. fourth quarter inside the Campus Recreation and Wellness Center as the Durham Lords hold a 59-62 lead over George Brown. Taylor Douglas started driving into the paint, and Sarsonis calling for a screen from Simon out to Taylor Douglas. Just a bit too strong, and Taylor will come away on the other end. Pass intended for Brown. Campbell will come away with it. And ball poked away. Initial call was that it stayed with Durham, but clearly Durham had a finger on it. So call will get overruled to George Brown. Campbell finds Fields, and Taylor not quite there. A little bit of extracurriculars underneath. Simons hands it off to Barton. He's been a solid contributor tonight. Spin move in the paint and a shot as it falls away. And we'll see Derek Taylor once again with the rebound. A beautiful pass finds Fields, and Fields is unable to finish it. Taylor thinks about drawing up a three. Fields, mid-range floater, finally gets the shot to go in that possession.
Good patience by the Huskies on that offensive drive there.
Simon gets the ball poked away. Barton has to guard for the steal, and Sarsonis loses it. Brown with the jam.
Can't get caught off guard here if you're the Lords. Only down to 13 now. 79-66.
Taylor Douglas using the screen, takes a mid-range jumper, rims out. Fields finds Brown on the cut. George Brown. They're finding their offense in spurts. They just need to put it together in a run now.
Most definitely, and a lot of turnovers we've seen as of late from the Lords leading to some points. Got to simplify their game a little bit better throughout the final stretch.
Simon drives into the paint, and Derek Taylor has defensively been a pest over the past 2 minutes and kicked ball. And we'll see Sarsonis come on for Barton. Or Hosseini come on for Barton, sorry. Fields, a mid-range jumper going right at Hosseini and gets the rebound, and Fields will pick up the foul over the back.
Number 6 Huskies, Chris Fields.
Jacob Masters comes on, Fields comes off.
Dressing number 4, Jacob Masters, stands up to the field.
Sarsonis clears out the right side of the court. They'll bring it up over the half-court line. Shane Taylor Douglas once again is a deep two and a collision as Simons runs in to Ocampo.
Second time Ocampo has taken a bit of a beating on the play. We saw him obviously go down in the second quarter there, and now in the fourth quarter takes one for the team here too to get the ball back.
I have a feeling he's not going to forget to play basketball tomorrow. He'll be feeling sore.
Gonna have a tough time sleeping tonight. All that soreness.
Campbell. Masters over to Taylor. Back to Masters. Why not? And it's a single-digit lead, 79-71, as George Brown is creeping their way back into the game. Taylor Douglas. Not quite there. Kushala.
First 2 points of the quarter for the Lords. Those are big points. You'll take those. Looks like they might get the ball back here as well.
That was a good play there from Sarsonis. He was able to tip the ball back into the George Brown player and keep possession as it goes out of bounds off of their body. Simon gets the inbound. Handoff to Hosseini. Drives in on Ocampo, loses him, and a sweet finish. 83-71.
That's what you want to do, though, in this situation. Take your points and go. 4-0 run quickly here for the Lords.
Campbell over to Ocampo. Campbell scoops it up and in. Unconventional person to bring it up over half. It gets trapped and throws it away. We're looking for Hosseini. Ocampo lines up a three-point shot and a bit too strong. Kushala with the rebound. Into the paint. Taylor Douglas. Smooth. I'm not sure if I agree with that call.
No.
Jeremiah Brown is roping the ball around his head unnecessarily.
Just swatting it away, trying to get out of Brown's way, I thought, but
That's what it looked like to me.
second foul on Taylor Douglas.
Campbell will bring it up. Campo gets the ball back in the paint, and he's going to kick it out to Master. Brown drives on Sarsonis and gets the ball poked away.
That's good defense right there. Stop the bleeding a little bit. Go, and that might lead to the Lords going on a little bit of a run on their own here.
Saney will inbound it to Taylor Douglas. Taylor Douglas back into the paint, drops it off to Kushala, and off glass, off rim, no good, going the other way. Masters. I mean, I respect that he dropped that off for the finger roll at the end. And a miscommunication. It's a 10-point lead for the Lords. Under 5 minutes remain.
Might have a tighter finish here than we anticipated, Sean.
Yeah.
A couple of miscommunication errors and turnovers from the Lords, and looks like they're going to take a timeout here. Good timeout here from Desmond Rowley.
And as he takes a timeout, we're going to look at the schedule coming up. George Brown Huskies tonight. They'll head out to Peterborough to take on the Fleming Knights in November 9th. And then they'll be back here for the entirety of the rest of November as they face the Loyalist Lancers on the 11th, the Seneca Sting on the 15th, the Algonquin Wolves on the 25th, and Lacite Coyotes finally in the last game of the month. That's quite a homestand ahead of them. How big is that to pick up wins there?
Some good teams in that list for sure. And the Lords just they keep playing like they did tonight for the first three quarters. Might do well against some of those teams in there. Seneca seems like a quality opponent so far. Looking forward to that game on the 15th.
And certainly they have to worry about the result here tonight before they can worry about anything coming up. 85-75. What was once a 20-point lead has been cut in half with 5 minutes left. 4:48 to be precise. And the Lords have some defensively work to do ahead of them. And George Brown has to feel good about the way things are going right now.
Yeah, Huskies started this quarter on a 9-0 run originally to trim that lead down to 8. But the Lord's getting back into it a little bit. Just a couple of miscommunication errors overall that just let George Brown back into this thing a little bit. But in the final 5 minutes, we'll see if Durham could clamp that down and hold on for the win here.
One thing I'm concerned about as I'm watching Durham come out is they're coming back out. Sarsonis, Hosseini, Simon, Kashala, and O'Shane Taylor-Douglas. They've been riding that lineup for a long time.
Very long time. Most reliable guys so far tonight. Not much in the fourth quarter, but you're just relying on your guys to shut this game down right now.
A three-point shot once again from Jacob Masters. Rebound goes to Campo. Derek Taylor for three. He drills it. 85-78, and things are starting to tense up here in the Durham Lords gym. Kashala out to Hosseini. Hosseini gets bumped off his drive. Some good defense there from Fields. Kashala in the paint, passes it, and the shot clock violation.
Lord's trying to force a little bit too much here. They're forcing a little bit too many passes that led to turnovers, and now George Brown has some answers for them on defense, which is trouble for this offense if they can't get something going here.
George Brown with the opportunity to cut this to a 5-point deficit.
You could use a stop right here for sure.
They kill some time off the clock by rolling it up. Fields kisses it off the glass, and there it is, 85-80. A 20-point deficit for George Brown, suddenly within reach of a comeback with 5 points remaining. Hosseini drives in. Awkward looking shot, but if it works, it works. 87-80.
That's big. Just again, keep it simple. Keep finding the shots you can. Confident shot there from Hosseini to make it a 7-point game once again.
I'm not sure there's a shot he isn't comfortable with. Taylor once again for three. And that will be out off of the hands of Campbell. So the Lords with big possessions down the stretch. They're going to need some points. They're going to need some stops. Sarsonis. Gives it to Simon. Hosseini. Another awkward looking shot, and the shots are coming out so flat looking, but they're going in.
We had a couple of big shots from Hosseini.
And a block. Hosseini is all up in Fields' face right now. We're going to see a timeout, 89-80. George Brown calls the timeout. Angelo Sarsonis still leading the way with 25 points. O'Shane Taylor-Douglas with 18. Hosseini with 18 as well. Simon with 14. But it's been a team effort from George Brown to call their way back in. Jeremiah Brown with 20. Fields with 15. Ocampo with 12. And Barry with 11. Down the stretch here, we're creeping up on it. What does George Brown need to do?
Yeah, they've certainly come back to life in the second half a little bit. Started off hot in the third quarter. Things didn't go their way towards the end, but now 18-10, outscoring the Lords 18-10 in this fourth quarter. They've gotten some big performances. Jeremiah Brown's bounced back. Chris Fields up there with 15 as well, as you just mentioned. So if these guys can keep going down the stretch in the final few minutes here, maybe a chance to make it close.
Chris Fields sitting with 4 fouls at the moment. Obviously, OCAA using the FIBA set of rules, so 5 fouls will see Chris Fields out of here. On the other side of things, Hosseini sitting with 4 fouls as well. So potentially a big situation developing there on either side.
Would be a big loss for both these teams if they lost those 2 players. Hosseini for the Lords and Fields for the George Brown Huskies. But you gotta do what you can to stay in this game if you're the Huskies, no matter what. Take advantage of any other miscues that the Lords might have in store, but Durham just has to clamp this one down.
Both are coming back in. Jeremiah Brown gets the inbound. Ocampo. Over to Campbell. It's Dre Barrow, not quite there, and Bishala with the rebound. Sarsonis has to get it up quickly and does. 2 minutes left. Hosseini with the backdoor cut. And Fields is just too small in that situation.
Little 6-0 run here for Hosseini.
Campo puts up a 3-point shot. Sarsonis fouls. Is that his 3rd foul on a 3-point shot tonight? Sarsonis has to clean that up.
And again, Ocampo will go to the line here.
He's been the recipient of all 3 of them. So, I mean, you could point to Sarsonis and his need to be more sound in those situations and making decisions, but Ocampo deserves a little bit of credit for drawing the foul as well. Ocampo with 14 points tonight, make it 15. Ticking under 2 minutes. 91-83, Sarsonis directing traffic. Tries to get the ball to Simon, so it's poked away once on the pass, and once again Jeremiah Brown pokes it out of bounds. But got to stay with the Lords. Substitution coming. We'll see Dre Barrow come back in, and Jacob Masters goes out. Sarsonis. The pass gets deflected for Simons, but Hosseini luckily finds its way there. That will be out off of Kashala. Now time becomes an issue for George Brown. 1:40. Ocampo, and it's poked away by a Shane Taylor Douglas, but a foul called. Fans not liking it.
That's unfortunate. Huskies will get the ball back after the Lords recovered that momentarily.
Dre Barrow inbounds it. Fields. It's Dre Barrow on the other side of the play. That was a pretty good play call. Ocampo. Was just thrown out a bit too strong for Shane Taylor Douglas, unable to run it down. Adam Hosseini was the trigger man on that pass. 1:14. Stranger things have happened.
Especially in this 4th quarter, but after that last timeout, I found the Lords have been a lot more confident on defense, making a lot stronger plays, forcing Huskies out to the outside.
And their hands are in the passing lane right now. Ocampo needs to make this, just unable to. That may have been the dying breath for George Brown. For Shane. And the Lords. Hosseini cuts back door and makes it a 10-point lead, 93-83.
He's been clutch for the Lords in the final few minutes of this game, has Hosseini.
And they lose Fields, and maybe not the dying breath of the game. Simon gets blocked, but it heads in anyways.
Flexing the muscles afterwards.
Jeremiah Brown gives it to Masters. He hits a three. All of a sudden, it's a 6-point game. 30 seconds left. Durham needs to play this carefully. They turn it over. Ocampo for three. It's too strong. Durham. And Taylor Douglas will give that to Hosseini, who gets fouled. And that certainly felt like that was the makings of an insane comeback. But that last shot from Ocampo rims out, and a sigh of relief here in the Durham Lords Gymnasium.
Big sigh of relief, but you know what? A couple of clutch performances at the end there by the Lords, particularly from Adam Hosseini. A few big points in the final 2 minutes. And the Lords are 15 seconds away from a victory.
And we'll take a couple more fouls here, I believe, for George Brown to get into the bonus. Almost delaying the inevitable, but again, a 6-point lead, you never know what'll happen. Sarsonis gets a elbow in the face.
Elbow, yeah.
And they take a couple more seconds off the clock, this time of Shane Taylor Douglas.
They're having words about it too here, yeah.
A little unnecessary.
I understand the frustration, but like you said, a little unnecessary towards the end.
Hosseini loses the ball. Dre Barrow into the body of Hosseini. It's a 4-point game, 7 seconds left. This will be a timeout coming by the Durham Lords, and shaky down the stretch, 7 seconds left. 4-point deficit, so it'll be 2 buckets either way to either tie or take the lead. Durham's got to come out of this one sound, and he's got to come out of this one with a game plan. And right now, the Huskies are really benefiting from causing a lot of havoc defensively.
Big time. 29 points in this fourth quarter, most of the night for George Brown. So the Lords, despite a big start, a really good start, up by, I believe it was 24 at the end of 2 quarters, but give George Brown credit. They pounced on a few opportunities given to them by the Lords, but overall a strong start by Durham was ultimately the difference tonight so far as we close it out.
Of course, it's 7 seconds and 4 points. It could happen. You know, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
That's why I feel the Lords, you just have to play this smart. No shot clock. Just play this as simple as you possibly can.
You have to imagine George Brown is going to come out looking for the quickest foul possible if they don't get the steal. But even if they get the steal, they have to guard against taking too much time off the clock to get it up the floor. And Hosseini's going to be fouled there as it takes about 2 seconds off the clock. This will be Hosseini's first trip to the line tonight, so...
Chance to pad the stats.
And no context to whether that's a good or bad decision to put him at the line. As he makes the first. And making both of these would pretty much be game for Durham. Bounces around and sinks the second. Fields brings it up over half. He grabs 2 points with 1.5 seconds remaining, and the inbound will end the game. The Durham Lords take their first game at home, 97-93, behind some great performances from Angelo Sarsonis with 25 points, 8 assists and 4 rebounds, and Adam Hosseini coming on streaky at times, but ends up with 24 points and 3 rebounds. Shane Taylor Douglas with 18 points, 6 assists and 5 rebounds, and Kansky Simon with 16 points and 9 rebounds, as well as 5 assists. So big time stuff here at home from Durham Lords.
Big time performances. I was really impressed